With Formula One returning to the place where the season started, Barcelona will be revealing in terms of how much progress the teams have made. It will give the teams comparable data to show if they are developing their car into the right direction. And with 1/4 of the season behind us, one team will be watching the telemetry even closer. Mercedes. After 7 years of outperforming the competition, this is the first time they're on the back foot, and they don't seem to have found a silver bullet yet. So this race will define their season, and this is why. Briefly, there was a shimmer of hope during free practice in Miami as updates seemed to have suited the bouncing of the Mercedes. But as the track got faster, hopes faded again, and Toto Wolff had to admit that the car was still bouncing like a kangaroo on the straights. A lot has been said about this porpoising and the reasons behind it, but what's worse is they still don't have the problem under control. Spain will have to bring improvement, or more radical changes might have to be made. Because of the porpoising, they had to increase the ride height, which prompted the need for more downforce. All of this costs a lot of speed, power and drivability, but there's more. All other cars have already grown beyond their infancy problems at this point, except the Mercedes. And that will be a big problem if they want to catch up with the other teams, who will start bringing updates from this moment on as they finally gather the data that lets them analyze for the first time this season the progress since the beginning. Weight has been a growing problem for all the Formula One teams this season, but this year it grows in unprecedented ways. New regulations such as the Halo battery package and reinforced monocoque all added weight to the cars. At 798 kilograms minimum weight, the cars are heavy and even sluggish to drive. Toto Wolff even admitted this after the Bahrain Grand Prix, where he was quoted saying that both his team and Red Bull were probably the most overweight. Lower weight improves the handling of the car and decreases tire wear. And with the Mercedes engine for the first time in years not being by far the most powerful on the grid, this problem is even more urgent. They will have to bring down that weight, but this will be expensive and cause reliability issues in the end, and they're already behind schedule. As the porpoising got most of the attention and money, other teams already have started bringing down the weights of their car. Mercedes is behind. The Grand Prix in Barcelona will be revealing for a couple of different reasons. First of all, because this is the place where the season started with winter testing in February. At the time, Mercedes appeared with a concept that seemed much more normal than they're actually racing at the moment. And with Hamilton topping the timing sheets on the final days of testing in Barcelona, things did look quite promising at the time. Now that we're 5 races in, it's pretty clear they didn't take a winning direction since. This is the track that every team and nearly every driver knows best. They've got the most data from this track, and so they can compare it for the first time this season, where they actually made their big gains and where they still can win some more time. They can see if their updates are working, and this is key in understanding the car and thus the development for the rest of the season. And finally, after this race, we're 1/4 into the season, which means the front runners are clear, the back markers are clear, and Mercedes is at this point 51 points behind of Red Bull. So this is still in the range, but if they lose more points after this race, they'll be out. So what do you think about these videos? Do you like them as much as I do? Then please do like, subscribe, and let's continue to the video. With reliable, comparable data of this year's finally in, teams will start developing next year's cars. And for Mercedes, one massive choice will have to be made. Will they continue with this radical concept? The updates they bring and data they'll harvest in Spain will be decisive for the direction the team takes for this year. For Mercedes, one bigger problem will kick in as well. They can only spend 280 hours in the wind tunnel because they won the Constructors' Championship last year. And they will have to spend all that time very wisely, and spending it on a losing car isn't wise. Either George Russell has been performing exceptionally this year, or Lewis Hamilton is a little bit disappointing. Their quality tally is pretty even, with Hamilton leading Russell 3-2. On the average, Hamilton is just marginally quicker than his junior teammate, which is less than could be expected of a 7-time world champion and undisputed team leader. In the championship, Russell is even 23 points ahead, although it must be said that Hamilton has been a little bit unlucky in some races and Russell has been quite lucky as well. So yeah, the race pace was practically the same throughout the start of the season. But for Russell performing on par with Hamilton, his star is rising and question might rise about Hamilton's future, especially because Russell is better used to working with a car that doesn't always perform the way he wants to. For a team like Mercedes, focusing fully on the future might be a better choice than focusing too much on your 37-year-old star driver. So, what do you think? Will this race be the decider, or is Mercedes always coming back? Please leave your comments and see you next time.